All right, guys, this video is going to be about reconciling your daily deposits, credit card, batch deposits, cash deposits, check deposits, whatever money the store has coming in that either gets automatically deposited to the bank account or that you physically have to make a deposit. From the main screen of QuickBooks, again, with the plus mark up here at the top where we're going to create something, we are going to create a bank deposit. When we are invoicing and receiving payments, as we went through in another video, everything is getting deposited to the undeposited funds account. By everything going to undeposited funds, it just means it shows up in this screen waiting for you to do something to it, so it actually shows up as an actual deposit. First thing I do when I go in is I filter it just so I'm going from the most current backwards. I also have up my online access to the bank statement so I can see, especially for credit cards, exactly what was deposited into the account. Of course, we're on a Monday, so we're coming off a weekend. We'll have 3 deposits, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, individual daily batches. And basically, it's pretty simple. I just start going from
I think it might be important to point out, first of all, Rick and I are at the Clements Ferry location, but as you can see up there in the top left, we're accessing the Charleston location, which is obviously one of the zillion reasons that QuickBooks Online is awesome. Is Rick can do all of our locations from one spot.
Anywhere.
So, from anywhere, yeah, from his home if he wanted to. Another thing that's worth pointing out is that Rick does all of his bill paying, all of his bill paying on Mondays. He'll have a bulk of stuff to do on Mondays. One of which is obviously he's got 3 days worth of deposits to make, and does all of that stuff on Monday also. So Monday's his big kind of admin / writing checks day. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rick.
No, it's good. That was a very good point, actually. So what I'm really going to start to do is I'm going to basically select anything that has a credit card, MasterCard, Discover, Visa. I have them set up where it's broken down individually. I don't know that you necessarily need to do that. It can simply be credit card. But I'm going to select all the credit card payments that were received on the 10th, which was yesterday. I've got a total, you can see up here in the upper right hand corner, of 2661.26.
So the date is right here. He's selecting all the ones from the 10th for with credit cards.
And then if I go back over
he just hit Alt Tab. Tab takes you over to the most recent other tab that you were on your computer.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, because I generally run certain programs like QuickBooks and my email under Chrome, which I think we talked about in another video. And then I do some other things in Internet Explorer. It makes it very easy to hit Alt-Tab to toggle back and forth between 2 open screens.
Whereas if you were only on Internet Explorer, for example, you could not Alt-Tab because it would want to take you to another function other than in Internet Explorer.
Exactly. All right, so for Sunday the 10th, our total credit card deposits that we are showing in QuickBooks is $2661.26. I am matching that up to a deposit, $2661.26, that came from Heartland Payment Systems directly into our bank account.
So he knows it's the right number.
So I know it's the right number. Down here at the bottom, again, we have this green box. You can either save and close or save and new. Because I'm going to do a few of them, I'm just going to do save and new.
If he hit save and close, it would just close out this screen and go back to your home page of QuickBooks or whatever. But if you hit save and new, he can do another credit card payment deposit.
Exactly. Now I'm just going to go backwards. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the 9th, which was Saturday. All the credit cards. $25.91.85 is what we're looking for. $25.91.85 was deposited.
And if you'll notice, the one date he's skipping is today, because it's still not the close of business today, so you don't want to do today's deposit until tomorrow when the receipt runs through.
Exactly. All right, and I'm simply going to go and do Friday as well, which would have been the 8th. You can see I'm skipping over these two as well because they're cash payments. And that will get handled in batch separately. All right, so I had 4 from Friday, 1043.96, and that's my last one for over the weekend, 1043.96. So that one is good to go. When I do these 2 cash payments, which Mike is going to deposit for me today, and they'll show up tomorrow, all I'm doing, whether it's a cash or a check, is I'm selecting what I'm going to deposit. When it comes to cash and check payments, you've got a little bit more flexibility because it doesn't always necessarily have to be the same day. You could be depositing checks and cash for 2 different days or 3 different days. The important thing is to make sure whatever you select in the screen and the total that you end up here, that you're depositing exactly that amount to the penny into the bank account. So when you post it, like we've just done with the credit cards, you will see a deposit show up here somewhere that just says deposit.
For each one of those totals. You do not want to just combine all of them together and put $8,000 or whatever in there. Each entry into QuickBooks has to match an entry on your checking account.
Exactly.
So that's why it's really important to do these individually. It takes, no time. You saw how long it just took for him to create a separate deposit for each one of those days. But on the back end, it's insanely critical to make sure you have an independent deposit for each transaction that's showing on your credit card or on your bank statement, so that the accountants can easily figure out what goes with what.
And if you don't put it in it exactly, QuickBooks isn't going to match it up to the checking account, and it'll just pop up, and you're going to have to go back and correct it in order for it to post correctly. So in this particular case, if I was going to run to the bank, I would select these 2 because I know I have these 2 cash payments, and I would deposit $558.08 into the account, and then post these save and new or save and close like we've been doing, and that would post that deposit.
And again, it's incredibly important. Don't just take $558.10 and deposit it. Then
or
your deposit
$560, anything like that.
whatever. Don't cut corners. It doesn't help. It throws everything off because then you can't match stuff up. A little bit of admin work on the front end done correctly saves dozens and dozens of hours and dollars, because we have to pay somebody to fix all this crap. So make sure you're doing it right and doing it right the first time.
Now, the only last thing I will say, and we did not encounter it going through there, but if you have a situation where you've selected 3 or 4 credit card transactions and the amount that you're showing here does not match what was deposited by Heartland into your checking account, then you're going to have to go back through that day's credit card slips, that day's invoices, payments, and everything, and just figure out
what you entered
what the
incorrectly.
mistake was wrong.
Yeah,
something's wrong. Wrong.
This is also to keep you from making mistakes.
It could simply be that the payment was entered incorrectly into QuickBooks, just an error, or it could be that the credit card, you may have posted that you received $565.10, but you may accidentally have ran the credit card for $560.10. So it's $5 off. Just have to do something to correct that. Either get the extra $5, deposit the something, but the 2 have to match at the end of the day.
Got to do it right.
And that wraps up deposits.